Wherever you go in this country, and in many places in the country right now, the story that's on everybody's mind has nothing to do with what's going on in Washington. The story is the cold. The story is what is happening to people, their businesses, and their crops because of this unexpected cold. I mean, for all these years we've been hearing about global warming, and nobody forecast this cold front. Nobody forecast this cold spell. Nobody forecast this deep freeze. A lot of cities and towns did not beef up and spend budgets on sand and snow removal equipment because it wasn't going to happen. And we now have a deadly force which has struck not just us, but the planet. And I think we need to thank all these first responders out there who are fighting the good fight while everybody else sleeps and waits in our homes for help. I'm talking about this is an Arctic attack from Mother Nature, and the people that drive the snow plows and other first responder services. I mean, there are people in various parts of the country, restaurants that are open, cooking food. The cops are coming and taking food to people who can't get out of their houses. Here in Florida, some parts of the state, the low's getting down to 25. The crops are threatened. That's not good. In pipes are bursting in a lot of places. Even in my place, I got something I noticed this week, and this has not happened before. I had to turn when I got in the shower. I had to turn the dial twice, as hot as I normally do to get hot water because the pipes are cold. Pipes aren't used to being cold. It took water a long time running through the pipes to warm them up before I could dial back the hot water temperature. Now, you know, in other parts of the country, what's happening is a near emergency. You've got snow falling, and they've got no place to put the snow, and they've got no place to put the snow that they're going to be grading off the streets if they have the equipment to do it. And I don't hear any of them complaining, by the way. I don't hear anybody saying, where's FEMA? I don't hear anybody saying, where's my $2,000 debit card? I don't hear anybody saying, where's Obama? Where's the federal government? Who's here to help bail me? I don't hear anybody. And we've got some Category 5 winter storms hitting certain parts of this country. And that's what's on people's minds in many, many parts of the country today. I think where we are in South Florida may be the only state. I mean, it's snowing in Alabama, for crying out loud. And they're expecting a major winter frost in the Gulf states starting tonight. We got a little warmer yesterday, 74 here, but we're going to be down to 30s tonight through the weekend, barely making it. I don't think we're going to get out of 50s for a couple days. Now, I'm not complaining. I'm just that does not happen here. It gets cold here, but 2 or 3 days and then bam, it warms back up. I even checked the Bahamas because sometimes I bop over there during these cold snaps. And it's even reaching down. That usually does not happen. What happens and the Bahamas is not that far south from here. It's 30 minutes and a little further east, but it's a little bit more tropical zone, and there's a lot of water, which is very warm between here and there, and that water generally warms up the cold air headed that way, so that by the time it gets there, it's not nearly as cold as it is here in South Florida. They're getting hit with unseasonably, unusually cold weather. It's just happening all over the place. And even in the midst of all this, the global warming hoaxers are right out there front and center saying, this doesn't mean anything. This doesn't mean anything at all. In fact, this means that climate change is still happening. This is just a blip. And, of course, there's the state-controlled drive-by media right there to carry that propaganda and that utter lie that we all now know is a total hoax, man-made global warming. Destructive statists and the fools who believe their propaganda, these are the people having a tough winter. Their phony game has been canceled due to global warming. We've got livestock dying in the fields. People are dying of frostbite. Some people snowed in. Others are stuck in their Priuses in snowbanks. Some can't get to a store. Pets can barely go outside to relieve themselves in certain parts of the country. So all you man-made global warming BS holdouts, do us a favor. Why don't you man-made global warming? Why don't you go out and shovel everybody's driveway and sidewalks for free? And maybe we'll let you in the house for 5 minutes to tell us all about man-made global warming when you finish. and the evil of fossil fuels. Why don't you come in and tell us about the evil of fossil fuels while the snowplow is driving by your house to get your stupid little hybrid out of a drift so that you can head to the Whole Foods commune and pick up your bean sprouts? Why don't you do that? Why don't you march? Why don't you global warming people have a march, a protest march against the internal combustion engine that's being used on all these snowplows and all these rescue vehicles? Yeah, that's when you really could prove your mettle. That's when you could really show us what you're worth. You go out and you ram the roads free with your own man-made power. You go out and get your green energy, that new green technology that's going to make us all safe. Go get that green technology, your wind power and your solar power, and you use that to clean off the streets and get people out of their homes. Yeah, why don't you guys do it? Why don't you global warming people go out and show us how it really is to be done here? Show us how we can improve our lives. Show us how we can get the roads clear so that food can get to the stores, so that the stores can open, so people can get there and eat. Yeah. Maybe you can maybe get us a snowplow, put a little hybrid engine in there, and show us how it's really done. While you sit out there and you fully benefit from the great inventions and the possibilities in the internal combustion engine and fossil fuels that are now totally necessary to save lives, and you run around and tell us this is destroying the planet and we've got to get rid of all these kinds of things. Windmills are the answer. Solar panels. Okay, show us how it's done. Man-made snow removal. And if you do that, shovel everybody's sidewalks, I'm sure people let you in for 5 minutes so you can proselytize to them about global warming.